वेदान्तस्वामिन् नित्यनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावन चारी यमुना तीरावन चारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय So today we are going to chant the Jugal Geet from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 35. Shri Shuka Uvacha Gopyaha Krishne Vanam Yate Tamanudruta Chetasaha Krishna Leelaha Pragayanto Ninyur Dukkhena Vasaran. Shri Gopya Uchuhu वामबाहु कृत वामकपोलो वल्गित भ्रूरधरार्पित वेणु कोमलाङ्गुलिभिराश्रित मार्गम् गोप्यायिरयति यत्र मुकुन्दा व्योमयानवनिता सह सीधै विस्मितास्तदुपधार्य स लज्जा काममार्गण समर्पित चेता कश्मलं ययुरपस्मृत नीव्या हन्तचरित्रम् अबला शृणुतेदं हारहास उरसी स्थिरविद्युत् नन्दसूनुरयम् आर्तजनानां नर्मदो यर्हि पूजितवेणु वृन्दशो व्रज वृषामृग गावो वेणुवाद्यहृतचेतस आराम दन्तदष्टकबलाधृतकर्णा निद्रिता लिखितचित्रम् इवासन् बर्हिणास्तबकधातुपलाशैर्बद्धमल्लपरिबर्हविडम्बा कर्हि चित्सबल आलिस गोपैर्गासमाह्यव गासमाभयति यत्र मुकुन्दा तर्हि भग्नगतया सरितो वै तत्पदाम्बुजरजो नीलनीतम् स्पृहयतिर्वयमिव बाहुपुण्या प्रेम वेपितभुजास्मि स्तिमितापा अनुचरैः समनुवर्णितवीर्या आदिपुरुष इवाचलभूतिः वनचरो गिरितटेषु चरन्तिर्वेणुनाभयति गासयदाहि वनलताश्च तरवात्मनि विष्णुम् व्यञ्जयन्त्य इव पुष्पफलाढ्या प्रणतभारविटपामधुधारा प्रेमहृष्टतनवो वक्षुषु स्म दर्शनीयतिलको वनमाला दिव्यगन्धतुलसी मधुमत्तै अलिकुलैरलघु गीतामभीष्टम् आद्रियन्यर्हि सन्धितवेणु सरसि सारसहंस विहङ्गाश्चारुगीतहृतचेतस एत्या हरिमुपासत ते यतचेता हन्तमीलितदृशो धृतमौना सह बालासृगवतं सविलासा सानुसु कृषितिभृतो व्रजदेव्या हर्षयन् यर्हि वेणुरवेण जातहर्ष उपरम्भति विश्वम् महदतिक्रमण शङ्कितचेता मंद मंद मनुगर्जति मेघा सुहृदमभ्यावर्षत्सु मनोभिः छायया च विधव छायया च विदधत् प्रतपत्रम् विविध गोपचरणेषु विदग्धो वेणुवाद्य उरुधानि च शिक्षा तव सुतः सति यदाधरबिम्बे दत्तवेणुरनयत् स्वरजाति सवनशस्त उपधार्य सुरेशा शक्रस शक्रशर्व परमेष्ठि पुरोगा कवयाना कवयानत कंधर चेता कश्मलं ययुरनिश्चित तत्वा निजपदाब्जदलैर्ध्वजवज्र नीरजाङ्कुशविचित्रललामयि व्रजभुव शमयन् खूरतोदं वर्ष्मधूर्यगतिरीडितवेणु व्रजति तेन वयं सविलासा वीक्षणार्पितमनोभव वेगा कुजगतिं गमितान् विदाम कश्मलेन कवरं वसनं वा मणिधरा क्वचित् आगणयन्नगा मालयादयितगन्धतुलस्याः प्रणयिनोऽनुचरस्य कदांसे प्रक्षिपन् भुजम् अगायत यत्र वणितवेणुरववञ्चितचेता कृष्णमन्वसत कृष्णगृह्या गुणगणार्णं अनुगत्य हरेण्यो गोपिका इव विमुक्तगृहाशा कुन्ददामकृतकौतुकवेषो गोपगोधनवृतो यमुनायां नन्दसूनुरनघे तव वत्सो नर्मदा प्रणयिनां वैजहार मन्दवायुरूपवाति अनुकूलम् मानयन् मलयज स्पर्शेण वन्दिनास्तमुपदेव गणाये वाद्यगीतबलिभिः परिवव्रू वत्सलो व्रजगवाम्यदङ्गद्रो वन्द्यमानचरणापतिवृद्धैः कृत्स्नगोधनमुपोह्य दिनान्ते गीतवेणुरनुगीडितकीर्ति उत्सवं शमरुचापि दृशीनाम् उन्नयन् पुररजश्चुरितस्र दित्स्यैति सुहृदाशिष एषा देवकी जठरभूरुडुजाजा मदविघूर्णितलोचन ईषत् मानदा स्वसुहृदां वनमाली बदरपाण्डुवदनो मृदुगण्डं मण्डयन् कनककुण्डललक्ष्म्या यदुपति द्विरधराजविहारो यामिनीपतिरिवैष दिनान्ते मुदितवक्त्र उपयाति दुरान्तं मोचयन् व्रजगवां दिनतापम् श्रीशुक उवाच एवं व्रजस्त्रियो राजन् कृष्णलीलानुगायतिः रेमिरेहसु तन्मनस्का महोदयाः हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Now we'll do the translation. Shukadeva Goswami said, whenever Krishna went to the forest, the minds of the gopis would run after him, and thus the young girls sadly spent their days singing of his pastimes. The gopis said, when Mukunda vibrates the flute he has placed to his lips, stopping its holes with his tender fingers, he rests his left cheek on his left arm and makes his eyebrows dance. At that time, the demigoddesses traveling in the sky with their husbands, the Siddhas, become amazed. As those ladies listen, they are embarrassed to find their minds yielding to the pursuit of their lusty desires, and in their distress, they are unaware that the belts of their garments are loosening. O girls, this son of Nanda, who gives joy to the distressed, bears steady lightning on his chest and has a smile like a jeweled necklace. Now, please hear something wonderful. When he vibrates his flute, Braja's bulls, deer, and cows, standing in groups at a great distance, are all captivated by the sound, and they stop chewing the food in their mouths and cock their ears. Stunned, they appear as if asleep, or like figures in a painting. My dear Gopi, sometimes Mukunda imitates the appearance of a wrestler by decorating himself with leaves, peacock feathers, and colored minerals. Then, in the company of Balaram and the cowherd boys, he plays his flute to call the cows. At that time, the rivers stop flowing. Their water stunned by the ecstasy they feel as they eagerly wait for the wind to bring them the dust of his lotus feet. But like us, the rivers are not very pious, and thus they merely wait with their arms trembling out of love. Krishna moves about in the forest in the company of his friends who vividly chant the glories of his magnificent deeds. He thus appears just like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, exhibiting his inexhaustible opulences. When the cows wander onto the mountain sides and Krishna calls out to them with the sound of his flute, the trees and the creepers in the forest respond by becoming so luxuriant with fruits and flowers that they seem to be manifesting Lord Vishnu within their hearts. As their branches bend low with the weight, the filaments on their trunks and vines stand erect out of ecstasy, out of love of God, and both the trees and the creepers pour down a rain of sweet sap. Maddened by the divine honey-like aroma of the tulsi flowers and the garland Krishna wears, swarms of bees sing loudly for him, and that most beautiful of all persons thankfully acknowledges and acclaims their song by taking his flute to his lips and playing it. The charming flute song that steals away the minds of the cranes, swans, and other lake-dwelling birds. Indeed, they approach Krishna, close their eyes, and maintaining strict silence, worship him by fixing their consciousness upon him in deep meditation. O goddesses of Braja, when Krishna is enjoying himself with Balaram on the mountain slopes, playfully wearing a flower garland on the top of his head, he englandens all the resonant vibrations of his flute. Thus, he delights the entire world. At that time, the nearby cloud, afraid of offending a great personality, thunders very gently in accompaniment. The cloud showers flowers onto his dear friend Krishna and shades him from the sun like an umbrella. O pious Mother Yashoda, your son, who is expert in all the arts of herding cows, has invested many new styles of flute playing. When he takes his flute to his bimba red lips and sends forth the tones of the harmonic scale in variegated melodies, Brahma, Shiva, Indra, and other chief demigods become confused upon hearing the sound. Although they are the most learned authorities, they cannot ascertain the essence of that music, and thus they bow down their heads and hearts. As Krishna strolls through Raja with his lotus petal-like feet, marking the ground with the distinctive emblems of flag, thunderbolt, lotus, and elephant gourd, he relieves the distresses the ground feels from the cow's hooves. As he plays his renowned flute, his body moves with the grace of an elephant. Thus we gopis, who become agitated by Cupid when Krishna playfully glances at us, stand as still as the trees, unaware that our hairs and garments are slackening. Now, Krishna is standing somewhere counting his cows on a string of gems. He wears a garland of tulsi flowers that bear the fragrance of his beloved, and he has thrown his arm over the shoulder of an affectionate cowherd boyfriend. As Krishna plays his flute and sings, the music attracts the black deer's wives, who approach that ocean of transcendental qualities and sit down beside him. Just like us, cowherd girls, they have given up all hope for happiness in family life. O sinless Yashoda, your darling child, the son of Maharaj Nanda, has festively enhanced his attire with a jasmine garland, and is now playing along the Yamuna in the company of the cows and cowherd boys, amusing his dear companions. The gentle breeze honors him with its soothing fragrance of sandalwood, while the various Upadevas, standing on all sides like panegyrists, offer their music, singing, and gifts of tribute. Out of great affection for the cows of Raja, Krishna became the lifter of Govardhan Hill. At the end of the day, having rounded up all his cows, he plays a song on his flute, while exalted demigods standing along the path worship his lotus feet, and the cowherd boys accompanying him chant his glories. His garland is powdered by the dust raised by the cow's hoofs, and his beauty enhanced by his fatigue creates an ecstatic festival for everyone's eyes. Eager to fulfill his friend's desires, Krishna is the moon arisen from the womb of Mother Yashoda. As Krishna respectfully greets his well-wishing friends, his eyes roll slightly as if from intoxication. He wears a flower garland, and the beauty of his soft cheeks is accentuated by the brilliance of his golden earrings and the whiteness of his face, which has the color of a badara berry. With his cheerful face resembling the moon, the lord of the night, the lord of the Yadus, moves with the grace of a regal elephant. Thus he returns in the evening, delivering the cows of Vraja from the heat of the day. Sri Shuka Vacha. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, O king, thus during the daytime the women of Vrindavan took pleasure in continuously singing about the pastimes of Krishna, and those ladies' minds and hearts absorbed in him were filled with great festivity. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shla. Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Mataji, you just had an accident. You're coming like that. You really ought to take a lot of rest, you know.
Yes, Prabhu, I'm taking rest. It's my leg. I'm keeping it on the table.
You in the
on the
pain
side.
now? Are you taking pain medication or something?
And the doctor asked me, but I said I don't want to because it's not so painful. It's okay.
Yeah, I know. I mean, pain
I can manage.
medications are also bad side effects, but sometimes necessary, you know.
Yeah, if it's too much, then I will take Prabhu. I have it home, so I will take something. Thank you, Prabhu.
Krishna,
Kind
Krishna
of
is
you.
taking care of you, I'm sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So kind of you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Mataji, so wonderful. You got that tune very right. Thank you.
Thank you,
That
Prabhu.
was very, very sweet. Very well.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. All goes to Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Before Sanjeev Prabhuji starts the class today with the invocation prayers, I'll just recap the last lesson. Yesterday we learned Yugal Gita, that is lesson 74, chapter 35. It had 26 verses. In the beginning, we saw the emotional state of the gopis, their intense longing for Krishna when he goes to the forest of Vrindavana to herd the cows. And in the next, we saw the connection between Krishna and the material world. And third, we see deep emotional connection between Krishna and his dear gopis, as well as Mother Yashoda's concern for her son. Now we come on to slide 2. Now here it is given the separation from Krishna creates a powerful duality in love. What is this duality we are speaking of? When Krishna goes to the forest in the morning, the gopis, they miss him. And we are saying there is a duality. What do you understand by this?
So, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, it's hankering for Krishna when they see the Lord going in the morning. They see him and the rest of the day meditate on him. So, either Vipralamba or, when he's present, either way they have, meditating on him. I think that is called a duality. So, both, whether he's present or not present, they are meditating. That's the essence.
Yes, and when he goes during the daytime, what is that bhava?
That is pangs of separation
Pangs of separation.
during the day.
And
Yes.
evening, what happens?
Direct association at night.
Festival.
They get together and the rasa
Yes.
dance took place.
Yes.
Take place. Okay, then.
Vipralamba and Sambhoga.
Yes. And what about we heard in lesson 74, the title is Yugal Gita. What is happening in this Yugal Gita? When Krishna goes to the forest to herd the cows and he plays his flute there, what the gopis are doing?
Gopis express their feelings
Feelings.
through Yugal Gita.
They were, like yesterday we saw, gopis, they were expressing their internal feelings of their heart through a song which is called Yugal Gita. Okay. The gopis, they are also comparing to the celestial beings. What does it mean?
So, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I think yesterday Prabhuji mentioned so nicely, Gopis Bhav see everything in nature, they compare with them, whether it's a deer, whether it's a cloud, whether it's anything else, they see that their love is not enough as that of the other one. So, going humility and their love, they are expressing through that. So this is what I understand from here. Reflects their situation, comparing themselves to the celestial being. So cloud or anything else here. In ability. So yeah.
Yes, and they are lamenting about their condition that they are not able to join Krishna when he is going out in the morning to the forest, because he will come back only in the evening. And this is doing what? This is enriching their love. This is enriching their devotion. The more separation is there, more vipralamba is there. We have already learned it nourishes devotion of the devotee. That is so important. Then we next go. Now, what about separation? And that is vipralamba and longing prema. What is being said about this? Vipralamba when?
When their separation gets intensified, the love increases and devotion increases,
And
leading to a greater one's feeling they show to the God.
And this is actually helping them for deeper emotional engagement with the Supreme Lord, with their dear Krishna. And what about prema?
In separation, prema increases, creates intense desire to connect divine.
Intense desire to connect with Krishna, to meet with Krishna, to associate with him, and to do lila with him. That is getting nourished by vipralamba. That's why vipralamba in this devotional service is very, very important. And next point two, what about duality of experience?
Gopi feel two types of emotions. During the night, they enjoy with Krishna, and on daytime they feel sorrow. They suffer.
Okay, just tell me one thing. We know that on the Sharad Purnima night, this Maharasa took place when the bright moonlight was there. But here it is giving the feeling that they were doing rasa every night, which is what is your perception? Radha Vinod Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, I really don't know. Yesterday I asked the same question, how they're meeting in the night. That was my question. So your question is, were they doing the rasa dance every day night? I really don't know, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, it is Nitya Leela. That's why
It is
Yes.
joy and
daily.
sorrow both.
Yes,
So,
when Krishna is there, when the Supreme Lord Krishna is there, and he wants to enjoy with the gopis, then everything, all other circumstances, they are changed or they are made favorable by Yoga Maya. Even if this moon is not there, there is enough light, enough, the environment is completely suitable for rasa. There is no doubt about it. That means anything which we think cannot happen, it can happen when Krishna is there, if Krishna wants. That means with his desire, with his will, anything and everything is possible. And who is making it possible? It is Yogamaya only. And what, Charu Prabhuji, you want to say something on this?
Yeah, they always used to meet nighttime also. You see that in the previous courses that we learned. Remember the nighttime when Yashoda Maya puts him in the bed, he will lie down for a little while and then he'll escape. And the gopis used to meet him also there, night time. And then by early morning he will come back and sleep. In the quite a few, I don't remember which course, but we have seen that in the other courses used to do that.
Is that the Ashta Leela, something like 8 different Leelas in 24 hours?
I think it's
Yes,
maybe
yes,
there. I think
there is Ashtakalya Leela.
Ashtapad Leela, yeah.
Ashtakalya Leela.
प्रभु जी गोपाल चंपू में गोपाल
No,
yeah,
no,
that's
no.
right. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, yes.
You're right.
But there is,
Rakshamata, you knew that.
but there is another book of Kaviraj Goswami, Govinda Lilamrita. In this, the Ashtakalya Leela is given in very, very great detail. In 8 parts of the day, what he does, what the gopis do. It is a very interesting book, but very, very confidential. If you want to read, you can read that. Okay, we go to
What's
next.
the name of the book?
Three.
Told you, what's the name of the book?
Govinda Lilamrita.
Oh, Govinda Lilamrita. Okay. Because I do have a Jayadev's, that famous book,
Yes, yes. Then we go on to the next point, nature's response to divine presence. We learned the gopis, they were enjoying, they were feeling emotions. What was happening to others?
The trees, rivers, and animals, they responded very aesthetically to Krishna's flute music, and then the environment also gave support to them.
Everybody was supporting, everybody was taking part, the trees, the rivers, the animals, various types of animals, birds, everybody, they were taking part in Krishna's Leela, they were his companion. Okay, we go to next slide. Okay, what do you mean by rasa and ecstasy? How the rasa was expressed by the gopis?
Rasa means taste, right? And then that taste, the divine is a form of aesthetic experience
it's
which
not
he likes.
rasa,
He expels.
It's a rasa. Rasa dance
Rasa.
is different.
Rasa
Rasa is different. It's a
mellow
mellow.
taste.
Rasa.
Yeah.
Bhava.
And God experienced through emotionally. Even God does that, enjoys.
And what about this point 6, identity and transformation? The demigods, they used to come to witness this.
Transformation of demigods into the gopis, and there is no gender in this transformation. So
Anything else? What do you
Spiritual love can alter one's
what do you understand by spiritual love can alter one's identity?
identity.
What does it actually means?
So, Prabhuji, do we understand, because that celestial, like the demigods' wives and all that, they were not at a par with the gopi. By seeing the love or the pastime of the Lord or his flute, they also become in the same mood of gopis. Do we understand transformation? Do you see that way?
Yes, yes, that is one of the explanations.
See that the gender difference, because the demigod, the devas, and their wives, they both in a feminine way they react to Krishna's rasa dance, and so that feminine gender difference completely disappears. Because it's a soul to soul enjoyment, soul doesn't have. So ultimately they say that Krishna is the only male, we are all females, to be enjoyed by him.
What
Yeah,
was,
Prabhuji, you mentioned yesterday. Yes, you mentioned that.
and what was the role of music and sound?
Music can evoke deep emotional and spiritual feelings
It was
among
not only
individuals.
the flute of Krishna, but other music also. There are gopis like
Sound.
you read about the Ashtasakhis who are expert in music and all that, all those things we are not discussing. So there were musical instruments also. Musical instruments they were singing. Then Krishna was playing his flute, and the gopis they were also singing. And this action, this was doing what? This
It
evoked
creates
emotional and
connect.
spiritual response from the gopis. Then you see, what do you understand by the social commentary? And the gopis, they left their homes on almost the midnight, and one is not supposed to do that. That means they are supposed to be ridiculed, but still they accepted this the critique. Why did they do that?
The spiritual truth they realize, or spiritual love is it transcend all other material norms, as we saw in Gopi Geet and all the places. So they were in that transcendental platform, transcending the normal or mundane norms. So because they could connect directly with the Lord, and there's nothing wrong in that.
But see here the contradiction. They were thinking they have left their families and come. But in the 33rd chapter, you saw when Parikshit Maharaj asked why Lord Krishna is dancing with others' wives and all that. There in a verse, it was told that the Gopas in Braja, they did not miss their wives. They were present in their homes. That means in their spiritual bodies were present. They were taking part in the rasa dance, but their physical bodies were in their homes. So this is also there. But still they were thinking they have left their homes, husband, children like this. We go to the next slide. Okay, what we learned from verses 12, 13. Where Krishna was standing?
On the mountain.
On a hill, mountain, and he was
Playing flute.
playing his flute.
The clouds
And
also
in the
reacted.
hill, higher ups, the clouds were there.
Presumably,
And the atmosphere also. The atmosphere also was enhancing.
Presumably, it's the Govardhan Hill that he's always used to be there on that,
Yes, it is. We are talking of the Govardhan Hill. Actually, during Krishna's time, it was much higher than what we see it today. Over a period of time, because of a curse, the height is becoming less and less. And what was the gist of verses 14, 15?
Gopis are spending time with Yashoda, and they are praising for Krishna.
They are admiring Krishna Because of his flute playing ability. Okay, what do we learn from 16 and 17? Verses 16 and 17?
The intimate feelings of the gopis, his playful glances and majestic presence, emotions that touch their heart and suits the earth like a light, igniting the love in the gopis.
That is, all these actions of Krishna's, how they impacted on the gopis. And verses 18 and 19?
Love between gopis and deer by Krishna flute.
Compared the gopis and the deer, because both were hearing Krishna's flute and how both were getting impacted or it was influencing them. What about divine connection and universal bliss? What we learned about that? The divine presence transcends boundaries. What does it mean?
It transcends from the material worlds, all social norms.
Okay, so it talks about unconscious, like mountains or the trees and other thing. They also are captivated by Lord's flute or his divine presence. So that transcends. It's not only the humans or the gopis, but others also.
Because at that time, Vrindavan is not like the material world we see it.
Yeah.
Everything is active.
Yes.
Everything has life. And everything is responding to Krishna's flute and his wish. And what is the power of art and music?
It has the power of to transcend everyone. It shows that the gopis, the effect of the on gopis of the music, and helps into in transformation from the materials.
Spiritual awakening.
Like we have also seen earlier, the power of his flute. When he plays his flute, even the Yamuna flows backwards. Like this, the stones they melt. That is what is the power of his Krishna's flute playing. And what about separation strengthens longing? We have been talking about this for a long time, but very briefly, what does it mean? Vipralamba, or the pain of separation, it nourishes.
Love. True love. Longing for.
Yes.
Longing.
And the fourth point, what does it mean? Nature reflects the divine.
Deer, clouds, and also cows, they all respond to Krishna's flute.
That means everybody who is present there, everybody is taking part in Krishna's Leela and they are responding also. They are all alive. Then we next go, what is the duality of experience? What is the dual nature of Krishna's influence? When he is playing his flute, when he is doing his Leela, what is happening? What is happening to the material world and what is happening to the gopis?
It reflects the philosophical interplay between the material and spiritual realms.
There are two things. Yeah, go ahead. There are two things, Prabhuji. One is the imprints on the earth, right? Krishna was barefooted and it was given pleasure, as well as the gopis that we see here. So both were simultaneously happening. That was the duality.
His lotus feet, it is soothing the earth.
Yeah.
The passion of the gopis, it is being ignited. These are the two duality. This is known as duality. And what about identity and recognition? Like we saw yesterday, Krishna knew all the cows by name. He knew everybody. And how many cows were there in that herd? Only Krishna's, Nanda's family had 9 lakhs. Others had many, there were lakhs and lakhs. But he knew the name of each and everybody and he could call them by name also. That was his ability, and he recognized everybody's characteristics and individual identity. That is what is specialty about Krishna. We cannot remember how many people we have met in our life. And what about point 7, transformation through devotion? The gopis,
Ordinary
cowherd girl,
cowherd girls to devoted lovers of Krishna. They
but
transformed.
became the greatest, the highest level of devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. And the gopis tried to reassure Yashoda Mata. Reassure what?
Krishna is coming.
Yashoda Mata was, please go ahead, Prabhuji. Sorry.
They reassure her that Krishna is coming. They gave her different reason or possible reasons for his delay. But then they reassure her, okay, Krishna is on the way.
Okay, what is the essence of parental love? Yashoda Mata was also, when Krishna went to the forest in the morning, Yashoda Mata was very much anxious. She was also expecting Krishna to come back, so that she wanted to see Krishna in front of him, in front of her. And
So, yeah, two things were mentioned here. One is
yeah.
Yashodama as a parental Vatsalya Bhav and waiting for the, and at the same time gopis knows where the Krishna is. He's a playful nature. So they were trying to hide their own love to the Krishna, but trying to comfort Yashodamaya. Don't worry, your Lalla will come soon, right?
Yes, yes, they always tried to hide their love for Krishna, but remember, Yashoda Mata knew it. As it is very clear in Gopal Champu, Yashoda Mata, he wanted all the girls to marry Krishna. Okay, we'll talk something more about parental love and concern of the parents for Krishna. What about this aspect?
Intimate connection between parents and the child.
Yes, intimate connection, intimate bond between the child and the parents. And what does it suggest?
Even in the material world, we see that reflection of parental love.
Yes, this happens in the material world, and this is happening in the spiritual world also. But what is the difference? What is the difference? What happens in the spiritual world is a reflection what we see in the material world. It looks like same, but that is at a much higher level. That is Nanda and Yashoda loving Krishna. That is much different than our loving our children. Okay, what about the Leela of Lord Krishna, the divine play? Krishna is very playful by his own nature, and he interacts with each gopi individually. And what about devotion and attachment? This attachment is what
Love for Krishna is more. Their love for Krishna is more transcendental and leads to spiritual fulfillment.
And what is the word for that? There is
It
a
is
common word.
attachment in bhakti.
Bhakti.
Is bhakti. That is, if we love Krishna, that is bhakti itself. Loving the Supreme Lord, loving the transcendent is bhakti only. And again, this point comes again and again, Vipralamba and Sambhoga. This we totally understand that the Vipralamba nourishes Sambhoga. That means if Sambhoga is there continuously, then it will not be realized. Vipralamba has to be there. That is what is the importance. And what about the nature of God and divine qualities? Point number 7.
This is affectionate, playful, and respectful.
What were the
Loving.
qualities of Krishna which we discussed? Krishna was very, very affectionate to the not only the gopis, to anybody and everybody who took part in his lila. And what else?
It shows majesty and intimacy with
Yes,
Gopi.
he was playful
Playful.
Playful
Playful
and
and
joyous.
respectful.
and playful and respectful. So with this, I come to an end of
हरे
the.
कृष्णा प्रभु जी। प्रभु जी, ये लेसन से हमें ये मालूम पड़ता है कि जो कृष्ण का नाम जो है सर्व को अट्रैक्ट करते हैं, वही तो सब ये इसमें यही बताया गया कि सब जीव है वो सब भगवान से अट्रैक्ट होते हैं। जो
Yes.
नाम उनका है वो है अट्रैक्टिव, सबको अट्रैक्ट करता है ना प्रभु
Yes,
जी?
Krishna, the meaning of the word Krishna is one who attracts. He attracts everybody. That is
Yes,
very
Prabhu.
right. Thank you, Mataji. So I have finished the recap. Now I'll request Sanjeev Prabhuji to continue. He's just coming. Any other point? Okay, Sanjeev Prabhuji, you can continue now.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Can I start? Yes. Okay. So thank you all, and thank you, Mataji, for wonderful katha, and Sir Prabhu for revision. So now,
Is it Parth? Is it Parth?
no, this is Kush Prabhu.
Kush, oh my God, he's got become taller now.
He is very tall now. Parth is still finishing his masters, so he's in
Okay,
his
yeah.
college, but he will be here next week for a short.
Kush is now finishing school now.
He is in grade 7, Prabhu.
Oh my God, he looks so tall.
Oh well, actually, he completed grade 7, and now he is going to grade 8.
Same, my grandson. My grandson is also very tall, taller than his father is already 6 feet, and he's above 6 feet.
Nice. It's good to see them grow. Yeah, I remember you saw him very so small, right? So
They were very young when I saw them.
Okay, Prabhu, I'll get started. Okay, we'll start with the prayers quickly. Sarva Shastrabhi Piyusha, Sarva Vedic Satphala, Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadhya, Sarva Loke Drakpada, Sarva Bhagavata Prana, Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu, Kalidvanto Ditya Aditya, Shri Krishna Parivartita, Paramananda Pathaya, Prema Varshakshirayate, Sarvada Sarvasivaya, Shri Krishnaya Namostute, Madeko Bandhu Matsanga, Madguru Manmahadana, Mandishchaka Manbhagya, Madananda Namostute, Asadu Sadhu Tadahin, Atini Kuchatakara, Ana Munchakada Chinma, Prima Hetakantayoskura. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O nectar from the ocean of all Vedic scriptures, O most prominent transcendental fruit of all the Vedas, O you who are enriched with the jewels of all spiritual philosophical conclusions, O you who grant spiritual vision to all people of the world, O light breath of Vaishnava devotees, O Lord, you are the sun which has arisen to dispel the darkness of Kali Yuga. You are actually Lord Krishna who has returned amongst us. O Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. By reading you, one attains transcendental bliss. Your syllables reign pure law of God upon the reader. You are always to be served by everyone, for you are an incarnation of Lord Krishna. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, O my companion, O my teacher, O my great wealth, O my deliverer, O my good fortune, O my bliss, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O giver of sentinels to unsaintly, O uplifter of the very fallen, please do not ever leave me. Please become manifest upon my heart and my throat, accompanied by pure love of Krishna. Namo Vishnuvataya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Satyate Vashtikari Namo Om Vishnuvataya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namo Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisheshanavadi Pashatya Deshapaya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gauravatama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurinitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantitam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Tatakalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sadhyatam Sagana Gunatanatam Tam Sadivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lavita Shri Shakantam Shri He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bindu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripasindhubhayeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraya Nashta Prayashu Avadrishu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloki Bhaktirabhavati Nishtaki Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna dear all. So after the wonderful recitation and the revision, we now come to today's section. This is chapter 25. Let me just make the full screen. So Hare Krishna Prabhuji, am I audible and are you able to see the screen properly?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, what a coincidence. Yesterday was the Radha Kund appearance day, and today we are doing Arista.
So wonderful, and we'll be
So
discussing that
really,
today.
this is a good connection.
Some connection. Wonderful. Thank you for that. Okay. So thank you, Madhu. Yeah, this is wonderful. I think all these courses, they always, what Prabhuji starts, they always have a divine what do you call it, connection somewhere. Like we always
Yes,
either we
Prabhuji,
start
because
a
it
new
is
course on a Jiva
transcendental.
Goswami appearance day or so
This
Krishna
Krishna's
is guiding
arrangement,
us.
arrangement.
Great. Okay, so today's course class, we'll try to complete chapter 36, which is the slaying of Arista, the bull demon. And then within that, of course, there is appearance of Sri Radha Kund and Krishna Kund, which is so dear, as Master just said, to all our Vaishnava acharyas, exalted personalities, to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and to all of us as well. It is the most respected and like a beloved thing for all of us. So that's a wonderful coincidence here, or alignment, not a coincidence. Nothing is coinciding in Krishna's seva or his plan. And then chapter 37 will be killing of KC demon in these chapters, of course. So first we'll go through the outline of this chapter. Verses 1 to 15, they describe Arishtasur's appearance, the battle between Lord Krishna and Arishtasur, and how obviously Krishna defeats Arishtasur, and then the philosophical meanings. Verse 16 to 23, yes, there is appearance of Radha Kund, Krishna Kund, very wonderful description I have highlighted. If time permits, we will go through that whole narration or that at least one page purport of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on how that appeared. We all know that, but it's always good to. And then Narad Muni, who appears several times in the pages of Bhagavatam, he has a very interesting lila here. He goes to Kamsa and tells him, he exposes the whole secret of Vasudevji and that the fact that Krishna and Balaram being sons of Vasudeva. So we'll look into commentary of Acharya that how come on the external it seems that Narad Muni is possibly not correct in this, but how he is always correct and he is always favoring the Lord in his pastime and also by that favoring all the devotees also. Obviously, Kamsa gets upset and then he sends the Kesi, the horse demon, to kill Krishna and Balaram in Vrindavan, and then he also has a big list of plan on how he can get him to Mathura and get them to Mathura and kill them. Verses 24 to 26. The last section is discussion between Akrur and Kamsa. Kamsa takes Akrur into confidence and requests and pleads him, gives him a very high stature like of a friend or like Narayan, and tells him, go and get Krishna Balaram. We will get deeper into why did Akrura accept this order from Kamsa, although he knew very clearly. Kamsa tells him that I am going to kill Krishna and Balaram and this is my plan. So then why Akrura, being such an exalted devotee of the Lord, accepts that? What is a takeaway for us in terms of when we have these conflicting duties or conflicting assignments in terms of parodharma versus swadharma? So how do we analyze that and where do we go? So with that, we continue now this verse 3 onwards. So Srila Prabhupada begins this chapter by wonderful outlining. What he says here is, Vrindavan is always absorbed in thought of Krishna. Everyone remembers his pastime, and is constantly merged in the ocean of transcendental bliss. However, the material world is so contaminated that even in Vrindavan, the asuras or demons try to disturb the peaceful situation. So that is how it is. Because this material world is contaminated, there is always disturbance, even in Vrajmuni. However, as Sharat Prabhu mentioned today, when Krishna kills the demon, actually he is benefiting them. And as we covered, Krishna in just by one act, he does many different things. Okay. So here, verses 1 to 15, as you see, slaying of Arista, evil demon. Krishna killing Arista serves as a powerful narrative. It reflects a theme that good versus evil, themes of good versus evil, divine intervention and protection of the innocent. Okay. So here that's a reminder what Krishna says is in Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkita. That he will always be there to protect his devotees and destroy the miscreants. So in the first purport of the first verse, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentions about the outline of this chapter, which is killing of this demon, and also Kamsa, who is fearful of once he hears from Narad Muni, we just discussed, and we'll go deeper into that. And then he will make a plan to summon them to Mathura. That's in the last section. Now, verses 2 to 5, they describe Arista, who is a bull demon. It is mentioned here that we just discussed about rasa pastime, and I think the conclusion, as we see, Krishna used to have it every day, or whenever Krishna desires, Purnima appears and all the paraphernalia is available for him to perform the rasa dance pastime with the bull. So it so happened once that when he was planning to perform the rasa dance, and here our acharyas, they give us a very crystal clear details that this is during the Pradosha Kal, that is midnight between or night between 8:28 p.m. to 10:48 p.m. So that's where, as per Vishnu Puran, Vishnu Chakravarti says, at that time when Lord was preparing to dance with the gopis, Arista showed he enters the village. So he enters the village, and then there is a very elaborate description of the form of Arishtasur, who is so tall and his hump is like almost touching the sky. The clouds think this is a mountain, and then he's like making very loud noise, disturbing scaring away the devotees or the simple cohort members of Vrindavan. He causes distress among the villagers, which symbolizes that, disruption of peace and harmony, how all the evil beings bring to the world. That we are seeing day to day. There is more visualization or experience of that in Kali Yuga. We see, just open the newspaper, or if you see a 5-minute news, the flash news, I mean, this really a good news. It's all about who killed whom, who harmed whom, the war. So, as they say, there's never a good news in this material world. It's always a bad news. The only solace is Bhagavatam and association of devotees and Katha. So this bull demon, he starts scraping the earth, and he then tries to charge at Krishna. It is also mentioned that he bellows very harshly, he digs out the field, and then every now and then he passes stool and urine. And his harsh noise is so fearful that the pregnant cows and female, they lost their fetus. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives more description about that about the term miscarriages, that when the baby is 4 months, in Sanskrit, he gives a term 4-month premature delivery called Shrava. In 5th and 6th month, it is called Pata, and thereafter it is considered Prashuti. So this is the visualization of this demon, how scary it is, how roaring he is, the impact is causing on the individual and to the whole community as well. So he's charging an attack. Now, when he's coming across, what do the people of Raj do? The first thing they do, the verse clearly say, they shout Krishna, Krishna. They know only Krishna as a protector. Everything for them is Krishna. Say, please protect us. And then how's Krishna's response? In full here. That's the next verse. Krishna is very calm, and he, in his calmness, he tells everyone that please don't worry, I am here. I am here, don't worry, I will take care. Right? So then that is verse 6 to 9 and theme 4 as Prabhuji has given. So he chastises his demon. How he does? He said, he literally uses word like you fool, you muda. Right? She left a word like you muda. What do you think? I am here to protect my devotees, and despite of that, you're trying to attack them. Do you think I will let that happen? I will just wipe you off from the surface of the earth today. Right? So that's his role as a protector. He addresses this Arishtasur, and he reassures his devotee of his capacity to combat. So he gives that, and then he challenges him. That is also mentioned very nicely, and there is a hidden question I have in this. So it is mentioned here that Krishna, he just like a wrestler, we read this morning, how sometimes pats his arm like this, and then he challenges. Actually, Vishwanath Thakur says he shows him a left thumb or left finger that thumb, like he's like, and then he puts his arm around his friend Gopala, friend called Subal, and that angers this bull, Arishtasur. Now the question here is, it is mentioned by the Goswamis, Vishwanath Chakravarti, that the whole setting is prior to Rasa dance and Arishtasur attack. Rasa dance should always happen between Krishna and his gopi, and it's an intimate pastime. But it also mentions that Krishna keeps his hand on around his friend Subala. So how come Subala is there? I don't have the answer, so maybe Sarab Prabhu has. So we can just park that, contemplate on that, and come back. So that's there. So that is mentioned, and then the battle begins. So that's how he brings up that anger in Arishasur, and Arishasur becomes very excited to attack, and it calls him Asatama. Uh, there is no sin I will incur by killing you, because although you are in the form of a bull, but you are a demon. So I will incur no sin. There's no harm in killing a person like this. So that's how Lord Krishna shows his contempt for this ignorant demon, and then the battle begins. The demon is mentioned here as Shasur in the form of bull. 0.5. He's very angry with red hot eyes and running. He charges Lord Krishna, but Lord Krishna simply catches him, seizes him by his horns and throws him away in the opposite direction. And the Acharyas, they give the exact details. He throws him some 80 feet or 100 feet away. And then he becomes, this Arishasuri becomes unconscious, but then he gains his conscious back and he tries to charge again. And this time, Krishna again, he beats the demon like a piece of wet cloth, and that emphasizes the ease with which he overcomes evil, reinforcing his status as the supreme. So overall, the point is, for Krishna, nothing is difficult. He never has to work hard, as we just heard again and again. Just by his Ichha Shakti, everything happens. Be it killing the demon like Arishasur, who is like visualized and actually so powerful materially, or be it like we saw yesterday, playing the Venu Geet also. He doesn't have to put any effort. He just keeps a flute on his mouth and the wonderful rhythm flows through. And then whatever he does is for benefit. So finally, what happens here in the battle? Obviously, we know who wins. What Krishna does, he pulls out one of his thorn and then stretches him with his legs and then kills this demon Arishasur. Now it is mentioned that actually Yamraj comes and kill Arishasur. However, despite of that, actually Krishna is doing this action, but Yamraj comes and kill. Despite of that, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the demon Arishasur, he gets a liberation. It's not clear what kind of liberation, but he gets a better destination. So that's what point 6, liberation and bliss. The conclusion, Arishasur attains liberation despite his sinful nature. Why? Because he is killed, he's touched by Krishna, touch of the Lord. And once he is, and this is the mercy inherent in Krishna. That is, it's Krishna's mercy. Even by outside, we see he's painfully killing the demon, but actually he's liberating them from their painful and cursed situation. Then the demigods praise Krishna, and then that says that the cosmic balance is restored through his intervention. Now, also here we see the multifaceted aspect of Krishna again. Like for the demon, Krishna is very harsh, hard, and he kills them. For his friends, he's like a boyish beauty. He gives them the festive pleasure. For the people of Vraja, looking at him is mentioned is Nayan Utsav, pleasure, festive pleasure to the eyes. And for the gopis, he's the beloved, lovable boyfriend. So he's different to different people based on our perspective of how we look. That's how he responds, right? And for the demigods, it's mentioned here, they shower the flowers. Right? Now, some more notes about this demon here. So it's mentioned that in the past life, this Arishtasur was actually a disciple of Brihaspati. This is a commentary from Garbha Samhita and Harivansh Puran. And then because of his disrespect and he became arrogant. Because of arrogant pride, disrespect, he was cursed. Some versions say by Brihaspati himself, other versions say by some some devotee, that he becomes this form of bull. Then in association of Kamsa, of course, the association we have, that's what we get. So he becomes more vicious, and that's how he charges Krishna. Right now, all the demons in the pastime of Lord, they represent a particular what do you call vice, and how do we attack them? How do we become careful? So how does that reflect to? I mean, what's a takeaway for us? So here he comes as a bull, which is a symbol of dharma, right? But actually, because it's Arista, he's false dharma and hypocrisy. So Arista he represent false dharma, hypocrisy, damba, pride. He represent that. So that is pseudo religion and arrogance. Right. So there is a mention of this in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as well. That this, like Jiva Goswami says that this hypocrisy, damba, pride, mother, and pretense of dharma, showing off religiosity. One, we should be careful it doesn't enter in us, and two, if we see that across, then we should maintain distinction. So Bhakti Rasa Sindhu explains, true bhakti requires cleansing of the heart of anartha or unwanted things. So what that means is, this incident happens before the start of rasa dance. So prior to rasa dance, everything impure in our heart has to be cleaned up. And who does that? Krishna. So through bhakti, through this association of devotee, mercy of the Guru, and the whole bhakti process, in our inside, all these anartha, especially this dhamma, mother, pretense dharma, that gets cleaned up, and then we become pure enough to think of or be eligible to participate in rasa dance with the Lord. And then it also, similar example we see here, I think, is if I can relate this, like there is, when Parikshit Maharaj is going across, he sees dharma on one leg, but that's a slightly different, but again, that's where the bull comes, but that's a true bull representing dharma. And this, the false king who is dressed, Kali who is dressed as a false king, he beats dharma. But Parikshit Maharaj is very smart enough to realize that. Okay. And also we see Daksha, he becomes very proud, right? So we know, so this pride in our spiritual progress, when we think that I am doing it, I am the doer, that pride or hypocrisy is generated, then that causes the situation like Arista. So our acharyas warn us against that. So now we go to the second section of this chapter, verses 16 to 23. Here Narada's revelation of Krishna and Balram's secret identity to king comes, whose killing has already been predestined. So here the role of Narada is explained. Prabhuji put very nicely. Narada is function as a facilitator of divine plan, highlighting his wisdom in maneuvering situation for a greater good. Right? So here what happens now, Narada, he knows, Narad Muniji, he knows the whole pastime, what Krishna gonna do, right? So he is mentioned as Deva Darshan, Narad Muni. So why is that? Because actually he is available only in the vision of Devta, or the other meaning here is described that Narad is actually on the, like, being a representative of the Lord, Deva, he is actually on that platform, right? So he is a very, very pure representative of Lord, and his darshan is not visible to anyone, only to the Deva. But he makes himself visible to Kamsa. So he goes to Kamsa and he says, hey Kamsa, by the way, do you know all the demons are being killed? Who the killer is? It's Krishna. He's none other than the eighth son of Vasudeva, or Devaki. And he's just trying to kill you, right? So then Kamsa will become very angry. He pulls out his sword and he says, but then Kamsa asks, like, okay, how did they get there? So then Narada tells him the whole pastime, that Vasudevji, how he took, and then he exchanges like son with the daughter, and who you killed is actually Nan's daughter. And then Kamsa wants to kill Vasudeva. But look at the intelligence of Narad Muni. Right? He immediately says, hey, what will you get by killing Vasudeva? If you kill him, then maybe Nand will hide his sons further and you will not be able to see. And you will not be. So better you do this, you arrest Vasudeva and Devaki, and then you make a plan to kill Krishna and Balram, call them here and you kill them by yourself and make an arrangement. So Narad Muni, or sorry, Kamsa thinks, oh, nice, Narad Muni is like, helping me. But actually inside, Narad Muni knows the pastime of the Lord. When Aristasur is killed, he now knows that Krishna is now moving. It's time for moving from this Vraja Leela to Mathura Leela, and that's what we'll enter now. So in 2 days, he will mention in this later of Vraja that in 2 days, Krishna will now move to Mathura Leela. Now, how will Kamsa know that he has to do all this? I will say he has to make that arrangement. So that's how Narad Muni knows the plan of the Lord, the desire of the Lord, and that's how he's helping the Lord to make that arrangement. Now, one may say, oh, Vasudeva and Devaki will be very upset because, like, he's making Kamsa execute his plan, but actually Vasudeva and Devaki are happy later because Narad Muni knows the power of Krishna and they bless and they express their gratitude in the later chapter. And finally, like, so that's the role of Narad Muni. He knows he's an exalted personality, great, devotee of the Lord. In the not so exalted devotee circle or not so knowledgeable devotee circle, even before coming to ISKCON, we have this picture of Narad Muni as person creating fights between. So, and he does that, but there is a greater good here. And he churns the Leela, brings more ecstasy for everyone and for Krishna. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that he did not act inimically towards Vasudeva and Devaki, but he goes to help them. That's what. And then the wonderful part here is verse 16. The purport here explains that the creation of Radha, because now Krishna has killed Aristasur. So Radharani and the gopis, they tell Krishna, hey, don't touch us today because you killed a bull. And killing a bull is sinful. So how did you do that? So you are not sinful. So don't touch us, don't come near us as well. But Krishna says, wait, that bull was in a form of a demon. So there is no harm in killing a demon. It was for your protection. But Radharani and Gopi say, nevertheless, it was a form of a bull. And now, like Vritrasur, you will have to go and take bath in all the places of pilgrimage, and then only you will be purified. So Krishna says, why should I go? I can get all the places of pilgrimage here. So it is said that Krishna just stomps his feet, and all the places of pilgrimage, they come there. They are not initially visible, but then they later on become visible to Radharani and everyone. We have some time, so if you all permit me, we'll just quickly read those because how often we will read this. 1 minute. And thank you so much, Sir Prabhu, for sending this. This has been blissful, and this is the page. So then, so then Lord Krishna, he creates that, and then he takes bath, Am I still there? I hope I did not get disconnected. Oh yes, I can. So I have to hide this window, so I don't know if I got disconnected. So Krishna then becomes arrogant. He takes bath and then he tells, Radharani and Gopis, okay, now I am pure. But then Radharani upon seeing that, she instructs her Sakhis that we must build a pond which is much, much better than this, right? And they start digging that place where Arista made a big, what do you call the whole earth node, and within an hour, they were able to construct that. But now how would they get all the water from the holy places? So here it is mentioned, Sri Krishna gestured to a heavenly personality who was an intimate associate of holy places. Suddenly that person rose up out of Krishna Kund and go down to Vrishabhanu Nandini. I mean, that's such a sweet name, right? Vrishabhanu Nandini. Then with folded hands and tears in her eyes, she began to offer the praise. So I was these were very sweet prayers. So I thought I will just read with all of it together. She says, "O goddess, even Lord Brahma himself, the knower of all scriptures, cannot understand your glories, nor can Lord Shiva or Lakshmi. Only Krishna, the best of the man, can understand them. And thus he feels obliged to personally wipe the perspiration from your limbs when you're fatigued. Krishna is always anointing your lotus feet with nectarian, charu, and yavak, and decorating them with the ankle bells. Krishna rejoices and feels most fortunate simply by serving your lotus feet." So even Krishna rejoices serving Radharani. So on Krishna's order, we have immediately come here to live in this most excellent lake, which he created by one stroke of his heel. But only if you now feel satisfied with us and bestow upon us your merciful glance, will the tree of our desire bear the fruit. Being satisfied with the praises spoken by the representative of all the holy places, Radha said, "Okay, tell me what is your desire." Then the holy places say that, "Okay, we want to enter your throne." And this is a wonderful line here. This just says what Prabhuji reflects again and again in the PowerPoint, that the nature of Krishna and Radha, there is so much playfulness and fun. So Radharani, glancing at her beloved from the corner of her eyes, Vrishabhanu Nandini replied with a smile, "Please come." And that's where we see the creation of the Radha Kund. Radha Kund appears, and then Krishna says, "This is most dear to me, just like you." And then Radharani says, "Even if you kill hundreds of Aristasur, you will never be considered sinful." And whoever baths, so for Radharani, Krishna Kund is very dear, and for Krishna, Radha Kund is very, very dear. And that night they again performed the rasa dance. So that answers our question. I will just read this quickly. That night, a brilliant flash of beautiful lightning in the form of Sri Radha, whose glory is spread throughout the three worlds, caused a shower of blissful rasa to fall from Krishna cloud by performing rasa dance on bank of Radha. So that night they performed this rasa dance on the Radha Kund. Now we can continue here. So this was the second section, verses 16 to 23. And as project, this shows how divine pastimes are interwoven with the themes of rivalry, beauty, and affection. So we just saw that there's beauty in the verses, such a wonderful name, Radharani has, Vrishabhanu. Just saying that, we feel so blissful. There is apparent rivalry between the gopis, but there's always an affection, and there's the playfulness. And we also covered the holy places, the third section. So meeting of Krishna with the holy rivers and the deities emphasize the sanctity of the location associated with his pastime. So it's more about Krishna and Radha being there that brings that purity, sanctity, and blissfulness. The river's desire to enter Radha Kund highlights the spiritual significance of these places and the blessing they offer to the devotees. this motive serves to elevate Radhakund as spiritual Abhimanyu. A little bit of detour to Chaitanya Charitamrita as well. How much Lord Chaitanya, like, he discovered Radhakund by himself, and then how much and Krishna Kund, and how much reverence and love he had for that. Right? So, and even Srila Prabhupada, he emphasized that, like, how much respect we have. We see that pastime of Srila Prabhupada, he brings his devotees in Radhakund. But they then start swimming and all. So then he tells them, no, this is a place of worship. And we covered in depth who and how, like, Vaishnava devotees, they never take bath or enter Radhakund. Like he said, no, there's only one particular day I read, that's where we can take bath, but otherwise we just take the parchment and touch. And it's a most revered place. That's so continuing then this verse 16 to 23. Now here the narrative is changing. There are different emotions here: love, devotion, fear, interplay between divine and human action. Here each character embodies specific traits that contribute to unfolding of a larger cosmic drama. Ultimately, it leads to Krishna's emergence as a divine savior. So now here in the next section, which is verses 16 to 23, we covered the appearance of Radhakund, and now also here Narad Muni, as we said, Narad's revelation to Krishna and Balaram. Narad Muni goes to Kamsa, and then we read about that. And then Kamsa, he has this whole paranoia and fear regarding the prophecy of Indra. So he takes that decision to intercede Vasudeva and Devaki. And that reflects at length how much he wants to maintain power, and that he can go to corrupting his thoughts and go against the religion as well. Then the divine affection. So Narad's advice to Kamsa not to kill Vasudeva stems from protective instinct, showcasing the complex relationship among these characters. It also highlights the theme of divine affection, as Narad's action, although seemingly cruel, are intended to ensure safety of Krishna. So as we just said, outside it may look cruel, or what is Narad Muni doing is not appropriate, and we call, like, people who wage or those who say one thing from here to there, we stupidly call that as Narad Muni, but that's not. Narad Muni is our Acharya, he's in our line, our Sampradaya Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya. He's one of the, he's like spiritual master for Srila Vyasdeva. So he's not an ordinary person, very, very elevated personality and devotee who knows the thought and pastimes of the Lord, and he acts accordingly. And whoever he meets, he transforms them into devotee. He does it for their good. Even if it's Kamsa, he makes Kamsa do all the arrangement. We'll see that now. He makes Kamsa do all the arrangement, but in next 2 days, he's gonna get death, and which is in terms liberation from the hands of Lord. So now that's the last section, verse 24 to 26. This is again the advice of Kamsa's deceptive ambition. Right? This is again the advice of Narad Muni to Kamsa, that behave in such a way that Krishna Balaram are attracted to be here and they feel safe and they don't run away. Otherwise, so long they have been hiding from you, they will run away and you will never be able to capture them. So Kamsa is intent on eliminating Krishna and Balaram. So he orders, there are a couple of things he will do now because of his fear and anxiety and anger and enmity against Krishna and Balaram. He first says Kesi daemon, who is a blend of Malais and very, very cunning. He tells him to go and kill Krishna and Balaram. Then he arranges a big festival so that it creates a festival atmosphere in case, Kesi demon is not able to kill and that fails. Then he arranges a big festival, a bow festival, and Kamsa aims to entice Krishna and Balaram into a trap. So he tries to increase their excitement and eagerness to engage in a battle. By he arranges this Mal Yudh or the Kushti Yudh, and Srila Prabhupada mentions here that even till date people like watching this Kushti. So this is nothing new. When we were young, we used to have that WWF. We used to enjoy watching that. I think till date there might be some similar fight and all, but that's nothing new. It's always coming from like our Vedic days. Then if Kisi fails, then he arranged for this Pida. He's an elephant and he would be at the entrance. And this is a symbolic representation of Kamsa's desperate measure to secure his reign through violence and deception. So not different from today's day as well, as we see across. People won't, once people get power, the pride enters, the attachment is there, then even if one has to be violent or deceptive, go against Shatra, they want to wage a war and stay in that top position. So the plan Kamsa has is, when Krishna Balram will enter that arena, the Puvula or the city, Puvula, the elephant, will be being drunk, will try to trample them under his feet. It is planned to place Puvula elephant at the entrance of the arena, serves as a symbolic representation of Kamsa's desperate measure to secure his reign. So, okay, we just read. The ritualistic beheading of goats. He also tells his ministers and other that go and arrange a bow sacrifice. So you keep the bow and then offer the bali to magnanimous Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva, one of his form is Kal Bhairav, and the demons who are in the lineage or more like same Kamsa, they offer this to they offer this bali to Lord Shiva. By the way, Lord Shiva, we all know, is actually Vaishnava. He does not accept that. He takes that and gives it to the other Bhuta Preta and Rakshasas. But through that, then Lord Shiva becomes inclined to give them some benedictions. You've seen that many times. So he wants to get that favor even while plotting such nefarious. So this is the Asura mentality, that they want to get favor from the divine to do illicit or wrong acts. So that's a blend of ambition, fear, and malice represent dynamics of power and conflict in the story. Underscoring Kamsa's character and his perception of Krishna and Balram as threats to his authority. Yeah, so this is like, I was just thinking, Krishna and Balram as threats to his authority. So because he is always thinking that Krishna and Balram will come and take away all I have and I will lose my power. And that's what happened. If he would have been conflict-free and would have been friendly to Krishna Balram, they would have definitely given him a place and higher authority, or a place where he would have been happy as well. Krishna has infinite and unlimited resources. I think in one of the lectures, devotee asked Srila Prabhupada that it is mentioned that when the jiva comes down from the spiritual world, his first birth is that for Brahma. So devotee has, so every jiva coming into this has a birth of Brahma, and Prabhupada said, yes, why do you question the authority of Krishna? Is infinite, and we see that as well. Right? So there's so many Brahmas who come and worship the Lord. So if he had been in friendly mood, he would have got that friendly reciprocation as well. But he thought of Krishna as challenge to his authority, and that's so that's a wrong thought process that leads to a wrong destination. Okay. So time for a break. Let's see. Any questions, thoughts? May I continue, Prabhu?
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत
Yes.
प्रणाम।
Yes, Madhuri.
प्रभु जी, नारद जी is the mind of Lord, is it right?
Is mind of Lord.
Yes,
Yes.
that is correct.
Is it? Okay.
That's why he knows everything about Lord, and he वो आगे फिर आगे आगे ऐसे बढ़ते हैं और सब अरेंज करते हैं भगवान के पास टाइम पे.
Thank you, Mataji. I never knew that. But yeah, his his the activity of Narad Muni are amazing. That's Lord Srila Narad Muni is very, very amazing.
Yes, Prabhuji, very true.
Okay, if there are no further questions, I think let's continue. And then there are very few more slides left, so I think I will be able to finish faster. Is that okay? Charles, is that okay?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So the last section here, verses 27 to 40. Now, what are the steps Kamsa take? First, he sends Kisi demon. Second, he arranges a festival so that Krishna Balaram come. Third, now he will, in that he will also make an arrangement for these wrestlers, Chanur and Mushtik. So if he misses that, then they will fight. Now, fourth, how does he plan to bring Krishna Balaram to Mathura? So he goes to Akrura to go to Braja and bring the two boys to Mathura. Okay, and Akrura agrees to carry out Kamsa's order. So let's reflect on that. Why did Akrura agree, and how did Kamsa pursue? So this passage reflects intricate dynamics between Kamsa and Akrura. The themes here are manipulation, duty, and moral dilemma. So how do we make a choice between Swadharma, Parodharma? And we have so many examples in our Bhagavatam lectures, like Bali Maharaj. He outright rejects the
Guru.
authority of his guru or order of his guru, right? Whereas here we'll see Akrura is accepting the order of Kamsa, who is actually not even his guru, but of course a king in that place. So how come he's accepting it? So let's take a look and analyze the difference here. So Kamsa's understanding of life. So first of all, the nature of Kamsa is explained by our acharyas. He is very much completely after personal gain, artha and kama. So he's very, very selfish in nature. And because of that, he goes to Akrura and in the guise of friendship. So it is mentioned, he holds his hands, tells him that, oh Akrura, you are so humble. You are my best friend. You are my protector, like Indra is to Indra, like Vishnu or Narad protects Indra. In the same way, you protect me. You are my protector. This one. Yeah. So he goes there and he tells him and he convinces him. And not just that, he then tells him, here's a new chariot, very, very new and very nice, the best of it. So he tries to allure him with material possessions, okay, and says, go and bring Krishna and Balram in that. Now Akrura accepts that chariot and he thinks, okay, it is good that he is giving me a new chariot because that will maintain the sense of honor, right? And that way, one, Lord Krishna will not be using, Krishna and Balram, they are the Lord, so they will not be coming in a chariot that has already been used by Kamsa. And he will also avoid the association of Kamsa's previous mystery, because if we accept a gift which has been used by someone who is very, very sinful, then you partake that in the misdeeds of that person. Right? There might be the karmic interaction is very, very complicated. For us, the simple message is always remember Krishna, offer to Krishna and use as prasadam, then we are in that will not just rid us of the karmic reaction, but it also gives us that mercy of the Lord, right? So Kamsa's malice, his intentions are revealed. Not only he tries to win the faith and favor of Akrura, but he also tells him the full plan very, very openly, that he says that you bring them, this is my plan. I will I will plan to kill them by the elephant. If that does not happen, I will plan to kill them by Chanur Mushtik, and once Krishna is killed, then I will also kill Vasudev. I will kill all the Vrishnis and everyone who is against me. And that way I will become the king of the whole, uninterrupted king of the whole world. And I will consolidate all the power. And then also he mentions the name like Jarasan, who is his father-in-law, the other Banasur, all these demons, they are with me, and with that I will consolidate the power and I will be the only ruler. And then he mentions of secrecy and deception. So he actually tells him that keep this secret, don't tell to anyone. And but interesting part, he shares all this plan with all his minister, and there's advice for us that if you really want to keep things secret, keep it to yourself. If two people know, it's okay. Moment the third person knows, then everyone knows. So if a particular what you call agenda or news or item goes from second to third person, then it's out to the whole world, right? So let's just keep to yourself. But here, some of Kamsa's mood is anything he sees, he will get his ministers and all, and that then everyone knows his plan. So Kamsa's directive for secrecy, it emphasizes a treachery involved. So he thinks that by keeping it secret, he's manipulative diplomat, but actually everyone knows. And we saw Narad Muni already knows the whole plan, right? So he tries to invite Krishna and Balram under the pretense of a noble event. So that's his diplomacy and manipulation techniques. But that's what Kamsa thinks, that everything is happening by his plan, but actually it's the Lord's plan, right? We already saw that. So that's a takeaway for us, that we might be thinking that I will do this today, I will do this tomorrow, I will have this apartment, I will get there. But Krishna already has a plan for us, so we should realize that. Obviously, there are two things here. One is like for us and for everyone, for every jiva, the happiness and sufferings to us that will come through our karmic reaction, they are predestined. But one thing is not predestined and left to us is our bhakti. Right? So how much we want to get deeper into bhakti is fully led to us. We have the full we have been given a full sanction by the Vedas, by the scriptures, by our authorities. As much deep, as much intense we want to go into bhakti, we can do that, and there will be facilitation done. So there is no limit to that. So we have to understand that part. Rest all material things, they are already arranged. The bhakti part is left to us. So just by saying that, oh no, every Krishna has a plan, so I will just sit back and let Krishna do, and we don't do anything, then that doesn't sound the right interpretation. What this means is the material happiness, distress, problems, they are arranged, but bhakti part is left to us. The more deeper, intense we go, and everything we see as a working of the Lord, be it positive, challenge, anything that happens, we see that as a mercy of the Lord, and that's how we'll grow. Okay. Now, Akrura's caution. So how does Akrura respond? So Akrura tells him, Akrura mentions to Kamsa that, look, my dear Maharaj, one has to be very careful in the dealings. One must be very well balanced in happiness, success, defeat, right? So you have made a plan that looks to be well thought. However, you must take it very balanced view and consider success and failure same. So he tries to give him that gyan, but then it is mentioned that Akrura already knows the power of Krishna and Balram. He's already a devotee. So his contemplation here is that, okay, although Kamsa is giving me, and his view is to kill Krishna and Balram, that is not going to happen anyway. And he himself is a very staunch devotee of the Lord. When he, as we see, when he will go to Mathura, the prayers he sing, even as of today, when we enter the Vraj Mandal, all of us are advised to sing those prayers before entering that. And then he will bath himself with the Vraj, right? The dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. So that explains his mood, and he already has that intense feeling to see the Lord. So that's why he accepts that. He accepts that because he knows the destination of Kamsa. He is going to be killed anyway. My dear Lord or King, actual King, which is Vasudeva, he is anyway suffering from separation from his son. And Krishna and Balram will come and relieve it. So that's why he accepts that. But it's not like he tries to give a good advice or counsel to Kamsa, but of course, that is deaf on Kamsa. So Akru's response reflects a deep understanding of ethics and strategy, which is necessary. He acknowledges the fate and potential futility of Kamsa's desire. So that's his wisdom. And then he recognizes the dangers of Kamsa's ambition. So while he reluctantly agrees, carry out the order, indicating his internal struggle and complexities of loyalty and duty. So while his whole loyalty is to Krishna, but now that Kamsa as a king orders him, he thinks of it as duty, but also he understands very well that Krishna Balram coming here will be better for overall perspective. So conclusion of this chapter and this theme, we delve into moral ambiguities faced by individual court in the web of power struggle, and there is the contrast between righteousness and darkness. So going back to that comparison, like how Bali Maharaj, he rejects the order of his guru, but that again is for a greater good, because he gives that whole thing and he accepts the order of Krishna. Here, Akrurji, he accepts the order of Kamsa, who is like a demon against Krishna, trying to kill Krishna, but he's in the form of in the authority of a king, and also getting Krishna here. He like Akrura himself is a devotee, wants to meet Krishna Balram, wants to be in Vraj, and getting Krishna here will be for benefit of others because he knows the divine power of the Lord. So that ends chapter 36. Oh, there are more. Okay, so there is ethics of power and manipulation. I think that we just touched. Okay. That how Kamsa is, he always thinks of Artha and Kama without Dharma and Moksha. So that's something we have to be aware of. And he always prioritizes personal gain over moral responsibility. So everything is in our intent, as we see. When the Devasur Sangram is happening, the Devtas and the Asuras, they're churning the ocean for the nectar. It is mentioned in Bhagavatam that everything is the same, the situation is same, but the mood is different. The mood of Devtas is they following the order of Krishna to serve the Lord. That is the mood of a devotee. The mood of demons who are not devotees is like everything is for our pleasure. So we have to be thoughtful of that. Then there is always, as we hear in today's world also, with greater power comes greater responsibility. So we have to be thoughtful. We have been given certain power as devotee, as leaders, as parents. We have to make sure we utilize that by having a balance between ambition and ethical conduct in our life. So how do we know that? Through these, katha of Lord Krishna, how he behaves, and through the explanation of acharyas and devotees. Then nature of duty, or what is our dharma, right? So the guiding principle, as we see, is for us is the Guru Sadhu Shastra. And then Akrura agreement to fulfill Kamsa's request, despite his awareness of its moral implication, raises question about nature of duty. He is one obliged to follow orders from a superior, even when orders conflict with personal ethics. Right. So now this is, as we say, is probably never black and white, but we have to go deeper and understand when the senior authorities or the senior exalted devotees have acted in a way, why that is so. So we should take help from, as we say again, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, the verses of Srila Prabhupada to take that understanding. We just have that. If the mood is to serve the Lord, then like Arjuna, if we have to wage war, we must do that. Or on the order of Srila Prabhupada, based on today's time and circumstances, we have been given a very clear directive that our path ahead is following the four regulative principles, reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, chanting 16 round minimum, association of devotees, and as much as we can, we spread this mission across. Then the acharyas will be happy. So guideline and the goal, what do you call, the process and the goal, they are very clearly defined for us. We have to follow that. Fate and free will. Right? So Akrura's acknowledgement that fate alone will determine the result. He knows the fate of Kamsa, and he tries to give him the counsel that please use your free will to serve the Lord. No, but then he doesn't accepts that. So then he accepts it and he says, okay, whatever is in destiny, anyway, will happen. So he resigned, Akrura resignation to the notion invites contemplation. How much control we truly have on our lives and business. How much control we have. So I think I touched on that part. What I understand is there is things which are predestined, but there is full control we have on how much deep we want to go in. So there are more themes, deception and truth, friendship and loyalty, ambition and its consequences. So we'll just go through the final part here, sum up of the conclusions here. Right. On one hand, we see Kamsa, who is full of ambition, a wrong ambition to kill Krishna, to trouble his devotees. And for that, he leverages, he manipulates the friends like Akrura. Instead of taking right counsel, he engages them in the wrong way. But then he will suffer because of that. So he doesn't get that. So that completes chapter 36. Now going to chapter 37. This is again killing of demons, Keshi and Vyomasura. Right? As we saw, the first 8 verses, they mention about killing of the horse demon Keshi. So Kamsa, he made a plan that, okay, first he immediately dispatches the Keshi demon. Then he made all that arrangements we just read. Then Narad Muni, after meeting Kamsa and guiding him, or exciting and giving all that we went through, then he goes to Krishna as well, and then he narrates the future pastime of Krishna. So we'll touch base on that. He praises the Lord, he narrates his future pastime. So he's in a way telling Lord that, my dear Lord, you are in Rajtam, that's great, but your devotees in Mathura are suffering under Kamsa. So please come there and relieve them. And then finally, the killing of Vyomasura. So there is one more Asur left here, Vyomasura, who will attack Krishna, and then how Krishna will kill him again effortlessly. So these are the highlights here. So verses, the first verses, the verse number, 1 to 8. Yeah. So this 1 to 8 here, it is mention of the Keshi demon, killing of Keshi, a formidable demon sent by Krishna. This represents Krishna's divine power. Despite Keshi's terrifying presence, shaking the earth, instilling the fear in all, Krishna demonstrates his ability to effortlessly overcome the fear with a combination of agility and strength. Krishna spins Keshi around, ultimately defeats him by thrusting his arm into Keshi's mouth, a movement that illustrates both Krishna's might and the divine nature of his action. So let's go through the pastime here. This Keshi demon is mentioned as in the form of a horse, and he's so huge again that it's like his tail is touching the cloud, and then his mane or his whole hairs, they often destroy the airplanes of Gandharva or the denizen, and then through his very, very what do you call it, non-melodious and very, very disturbing knees, like the horses, they have that neigh, like he will be screaming out loud, which will be causing disturbance to everyone, and he will pick up battle with anyone and everyone, and the only thing he does is trouble. Now, he comes here and he's been given by task. He's been given a task by Kamsa to go and kill Krishna and Balram. So Kamsa tells him, go and kill Krishna and Balram. And the Sanskrit translation of that is given by Acharya. The way it is that, okay, go, while Kamsa says that, but as per Mother Saraswati, the translation is that go and meet death at the hand of Krishna and Balram. So, like, in a way, he's going there. So he goes there in that fearful form. He charges upon Krishna, but Krishna very easily, he just puts his hand inside the demon. Now, on one hand, when Sukdev Goswami is narrating this, he sees that anxiety in Parikshit Maharaj, right? That, oh, the Krishna's hand is so soft and so cool, and this demon teeth in the form of horse will be so hard, so the anxiety comes. But immediately Sukdev Goswami says, okay, don't worry. The Krishna's hand has become so hard and so hard that he puts it inside the horse, and this particular horse demon, and he just pushes him to death. So chokes him up to death, and that's how this AC demon is effortlessly again killed by Krishna, and then he's seen as vomiting blood and choking up, and then finally he dies. Again, because being killed by Krishna, touched by Krishna, he achieves a higher, or moksha or better position. Now it is mentioned again about Keshi demon. We'll quickly read through. In the past life, again, he was. This is again a reference from internet. Garga Samhita and Anand Vrindavan Chakur. They say that Keshi was celestial being, and he fell down because of pride and anger. So in one version, it is mentioned that he's a powerful Gandharva who became envious of Krishna's glory, and that's why he was cursed to become a horse demon. So symbolic form of this Keshi is enviousness, and then also unrestrained false ego, because he's a horse without any restraint, and he goes to the attack the Lord very fast. So the comparison given is unrestrained false ego. So if you don't control the false ego and don't keep a check on that, it will go and harm other devotees, and in the end it will harm yourself. His death represents the need to surrender ego at the lotus feet of Krishna to attain liberation. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also says that Keshi symbolizes ego of being the doer. I am the controller. Ahankar Vimudatma Karta Aham iti Mani. So that is the symbol. And then finally, Krishna choking him by expanding his arm. That represents that when bhakti enters our heart, it dissolves our ego completely. So the more we take Krishna consciousness, the chanting of Krishna in our heart, the false ego will go away. So our acharyas are very nice. They explain the philosophy, they explain the problem, they give the solution as well. Right? And then Keshi's death. Now, as soon as Keshi dies, the next we'll see, as I said, the next section is Narad Muni coming. So Keshi's death is a step before the Narad Muni. So that means when we remove the false ego, the sadhu, the exalted devotee, they appear. So removal of ego prepares the heart to receive the divine instruction of Narad Muni's message. So this mirrors a spiritual seeker's path. First, we have to remove the false pride, and then the divine realization and bhakti begins. I mean, we should continue with that. As we continue, then the divine vision will appear. So in essence, as per Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as well, by Rupa Goswami, Keshi represent Ahankar, ego or pride, which is the major anartha in the path of devotion service. Devotees must overcome Keshi-like attitude, which is forceful speech, arrogance, and the resistance to surrender. Now, some more similarities in Bhagavatam we can see. There is this Pondrik Vasudev, who becomes puffed up with pride. He acts like Krishna. We saw the destination. And then how Indra also, when false pride goes in, he attacks the whole Vraj, right? And then Krishna had to lift the Govardhan hill. So very, very dangerous. And all devotees should be on guard against it. And bhakti is our only antidote to this false ego. And finally, ego is the last enemy to fall before intimate realization of God can happen. So it's a very difficult, very subtle, and very, very unique. And for us, as long as we take guidance from Guru Sadhu Shastra, then we will be fulfilled. Okay, a few more minutes, and then the second section. Now Narad Muni will go to Krishna. He's gone to Krishna, and he gives him the full account of what he's gonna do next. In next 2 days, I will see you killing Kamsa, Chanur, Mushtik. Then you will also, I will see you killing Jarasan. You will also kill so many. So that shows us that Narada has the vision of ahead. So he praises Krishna for these feats. He expresses a desire to witness Krishna's future pastime in Mathura. He acknowledges Krishna's ability to be both the son of Nanda in Vraj and son of Vasudeva in Mathura, emphasizing Krishna's role as supreme controller who can fulfill the desire of his devotees. Finally, Narada articulates his understanding of Krishna's divine nature and the protective role he plays for his devotee, urging him to move to Mathura to confront Kamsa and elevate the fear of the inhabitants. So now, our acharyas further explain that Narada goes and makes requests to Krishna, okay, please come to Mathura, please relieve the devotees from that. Then Krishna might say that, why are you making this request? I am the Lord, I will do what I want to do whenever I want to do. Then Narada would respond that, Narad Muniji will respond that, yes, you are the Lord and you are controlling everyone, you are the Paramatma, only by your inspiration, I have come here and make the request. So you are the one who is inspiring me. So they are so much in alignment, as Mataji just mentioned, and that Narad Muni is mind of the Lord, he knows and himself knows. So now with this, what is happening here is there is a now transformation from Vraj Leela to Mathura Leela. Two things are happening. So one more. So we are transforming from Vraj Leela to Mathura Leela, which means Krishna is moving to Mathura, and Vrajvasi, they will feel that separation. So it will go into a mode where actually Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, we have read that, but his manifest pastime will, Vrindavan will now transform to unmanifest. So that's there, and then he will, the Vasudeva form will go to Mathura and extend further. However, there is a last section here. Now there is Vyomasur, one more Asur who is coming, right? So the pastime here is Vyomasur is a Asura who is magician. He comes in the form of a devotee. When Krishna and his friends, they are playing a game where in the game there is a sheep, a shepherd, and a thief. So the thief is stealing the sheep and hiding them. So they are playing. So what this Asura does is take the form of the Gopal, and he hides all the Gopal, the friends of Krishna, in a cave and closes the cave in the darkness, right? And then Krishna quickly understands that, and he kills this Vyomasura just by one punch, and that's it, he's done. So this playful interaction among coward boys acting as thief and protector leads to another daemon, Vyomasura, who tries to capture them. But Krishna's heroic action in dealing with Vyomasura further illustrates his role as protector of his Paritrana Sadhu, showcasing his strength and cunning as he saves boys. So he can be strength, and as in Bhagavad Gita he says, like among the cheaters he is topmost. So if you try to cheat Krishna, who can? So then also further reflections on Vyomasura. So Vyoma means sky or space, and Vyomasura means demon of the sky. So he tries to trick by playing a form of thief. He, as you say, he abducts or kidnaps the gopas and lock them in the mountain cave. And Krishna, he knows the plan. He smashed them to death, and then he just hits the cave and frees his friends. So the anartha which Vyomasura represent is thievery of the heart or misguide of the intelligence. So in our heart, there is always this propensity to cheat and thief. That is what is represented by Vyomasura. So he symbolizes the theft of devotion. So we have to be very, very watchful and guard this reaper of bhakti. Otherwise, it will be stolen, or we will be watering the plants of misdeed. Right? So Vyomasura, externally, he looks like a friend, but internally, he was a kidnapper. This duality is key to understand that. So when people pretend to be spiritual friend or guides, but secretly harm one's bhakti through bad association or bad ideas, like, there can be dearth of this. There might be certain philosophies that come that might look like, oh yeah, this is Vaishnava philosophy, but in the heart, it might be again something different, or it might say, like, there's so many, like, okay, Srila Prabhupada is the only guru, whereas Srila Prabhupada has given us a very clear. So we have to be very watchful. Safest is what we are doing here, just only align to the teachings of Srila Prabhupada and follow them. And this also represents mental distraction, intellectual pride, or philosophy that steals away the devotion. Because here, Vyomasura is stealing the friends of Krishna. So there are these philosophies or people who will steal away our bhakti or our love towards Krishna. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Jiva Goswami also comment that Vyomasura is described as embodiment of deceitful mind or mental thief who steal the gopa, who are symbol of simple pure bhakti. And the cave where he hides them, it symbolizes the darkness of doubt or isolation from the Lord. Right? So if we doubt the Lord or we stay in isolation away from devotees, then we become trapped like those innocent. Krishna rescues us. It indicates bhakti has the power to restore purity and clarity. It defeats the mental peace. So the final lesson there is, don't let your mind steal your devotion. Use the intelligence in Krishna's service, not in rationalizing or defending distraction. Be careful of false friends, doubt creators, even if they appear very innocent. Be very, very careful against that. And finally, we should have faith in Krishna. He will always and always protect us. Who definitely protects his devotee. I feel faith protects us because we also have some aspiration, right, from all the dangers and bring us back into the light of God. So with that, I end this, and thank you so much for this opportunity. And you forgive my offenses. The final line here, the chapter is rich in themes of divine play, Leela, relationship between Supreme and the devotees, and the balance of power and protection that Krishna embodies. It invites the readers, which is us, to reflect on the nature of divinity and the interconnectedness of all beings within the cosmos. So have faith in the words of our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. Follow the instruction. That is what it means to surrender, as we saw yesterday. That by that, surely Krishna will. Hare Krishna.
Another great lecture, Prabhuji. That's great. You become real expert now. So much background research also
Yes.
you did that, you know.
Just trying. But one thing I really appreciate and have gratitude is when you give us this assignment, as you always say, we have to read a lot. There is some portion we try to represent, and there is a lot of portion that doesn't come out. So, but still, like you and Sarat Prabhu and Archana Mataji, you are amazing. Like how you can just sit and relax and give. I have to look into many things and then bring it together. So that, but yeah, thank you. It's
Wonderful,
Prabhuji, by
wonderful.
practice, it will rise very nicely. Don't
Yes.
worry.
Yes.
So wonderful
Yes.
class, Prabhuji.
He has done wonderful, isn't it? Everybody will agree that.
Yes,
Yes,
100%, Prabhuji.
yes, he has become now a very good speaker now, you know.
यस प्रभु जी। प्रभु जी,
Very
एक बात
wonderful
आपकी
class,
बहुत अच्छी
Prabhuji.
लगती है प्रभु जी की, आप बहुत ही शांति से, मतलब जरा भी एक्साइटमेंट नहीं, वो फेस जो है वो आपका एक सरखा, मतलब एक तरीके से होता है, वो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है प्रभु
Now
जी।
with the when the lecture flows very smoothly, it gives confidence, you know. Actually, when I was beginning all this thing many years back, the first few minutes are very important. If you bomb it out, that's gone. Because that psychology works, you know. And you already know yourself that you are doing good, you know. That gives confidence.
Very nice class, Prabhuji. Then very nice.
Okay.
Prabhuji,
प्रभु जी, 2-3 पॉइंट्स है मुझे बताने
yes,
का कि प्रभु जी, हमें ये लेसन से मतलब हम सब सीख सकते हैं कि भगवान को प्राइड पसंद नहीं है जरा भी। सो वी शुड बी वेरी वेरी केयरफुल कि हमें भी कुछ भी प्रकार का भाव ना आए, जाके हमें प्राइड आ जाए, वो हमें समझना है। फिर दूसरी बात ये है कि हमें आर्थिक धर्म को इतना इम्पोर्टेंस नहीं देना है, परमार्थिक धर्म को ज्यादा से ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंस देना है। टू सपोर्ट द परमार्थिक धर्म वी हैव टू डू आर्थिक धर्म। वो मैं, और हमेशा प्रतिकूल भाव को त्याग करके अनुकूल भाव से हमें भगवान से हम भक्ति करनी है। वो सब सारी टेक अवे मैसेजेस है ये, वो मैं समझ पाएंगे लेक्चर से।
Perfect. And finally, protect your bhakti and intelligence from the attack of
हाँ प्रभु जी।
all different.
तो प्रभु जी, व्योमासुर जो था वो एक वो भी गंधर्व था प्रभु जी? वो मूवी मेरा मिस हो गया था।
उसका कुछ
व्योमासुर के
आया
बारे में
नहीं
प्लीज
है
बताएं।
इसमें। I tried to check, but
I think ये सब गर्ग संहिता में बहुत आता है। So
Okay,
पुराने
okay.
which, yeah.
Prabhuji, if there are no questions, I'll tell something about Vyavasura.
yes, Prabhu.
And others also, I'll tell you the story about Akrura, what is given in the Harivansa Purana.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, please.
Very brief. I'll first about Aristasura. Aristasura in his past life was known as Bharatantu, and he was a Brahmana and he was a disciple of Brihaspati. And one day, what happened? This Bharatantu sat on his feet, stretched towards his guru, that is Brihaspati. And we know that when you stretch your legs toward somebody, it is considered disrespect and improper etiquette. And then Brihaspati cursed him, saying that you are sitting like a bull, and hence you become a bull. Then consequently, Aristasura was reborn as a bull in the region of present-day Bangladesh. Then he later turned into a demon due to his association with other demoniac bull. And once Kamsa, during his conquest, conquered Aristasura. Kamsa defeated Arista very easily, but spared his life and made him his servant. Eventually, on Kamsa's orders, Aristasura attempted to kill Krishna, but was slain by him. Then Bhyamasura in his previous life was a great king named Bhimaratha, who lived in the city of Varanasi. He was king of Varanasi. Then he performed many sacrifices, respected everyone, gave profuse charity, and he was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. And after some time, he gave up his handed over his kingdom to his son and went to the Malaya hills. And he performed austerities for 1 lakh years. One day, what happens? Pulyasta Muni, accompanied by his disciples, came to his hermitage. But Bhimaratha, he never stood up or bowed down before the great the Rishi. Seeing his pride, Pulyasta Rishi cursed him to become a demon. The king then fell at the sage's feet and begged for forgiveness. Then Pulyasta said, at the end of Dwapar Yuga, in the area of Braja, the strength of the arms of Lord Krishna will liberate you. Therefore, Bhimaratha, he became the son of demon Mayasura, and the power of Lord Krishna's arms gave him liberation. Like this in the Garga Samhita, there are stories about all these people. Later on will come when we go to Mathura Lila. There are stories about that washerman who was killed by Krishna, the weaver, the florist Sudama, then Kubja, even Kubalaya Pida. All these things we'll learn. And then the wrestlers who fought with Krishna and Balrama. And then regarding Kamsa, Kamsa's 8 brothers, all these things are there. When we go to those lessons, we'll learn them. And now I will tell you about Kamsa sending Akrura to Vrindavan to bring Krishna and Balrama. This is the preliminary story we heard. I'll tell you what is given in the Harivamsa Purana. Now, when Krishna Akrura went, now on the Chaitra Ekadasi day, Kamsa ordered Akrura to go. On the Dwadasi day, he started his journey to Braja. And in that day, very morning, Aristasura was killed. And in the afternoon, Bhyamasura was killed. This is what is the sequence. Now this Harivamsa Purana, as you know, it is written by Vyasadeva, and it is a dialogue between Vaishampayana and Janmejaya. Now, Kamsa, he became very much filled with anxiety when he came to know from Narada Muni that Krishna and Balram, they are being brought up in Braja, and that he will be killed one day by them. When he came to know, he was very much fearful. He started contemplating that he thought Putana has been killed, Kalia has been chastised, Dhenukasura has been sent to the abode of Yamaraja, Pralambasura has been elevated, Govardhana hill has been lifted by Krishna, Indra's authority has been overruled, and all the cows have been protected. The giant demon Aristasura has been killed. The coward men are enjoying life very nicely in Vraja. The threat to my life appears apparent and imminent. The Yamalabjuna trees were effortlessly uprooted. The breaking of the cart and many other superhuman acts have been performed by Krishna in Braja. Now, thinking this way, he concluded that his days are numbered now. Then thereafter, what he did, he called for a conference of all his ministers, associates, friends, and also in that Ugrasena, his father, whom he had imprisoned, he was also made part of that meeting. Now he came to know about everything. He started speaking. He said, "Oh, my dear friends, please listen to me very, very carefully. What I am trying to say. You are all conversant with the duties of men, and you are all learned in the Vedas, and your dealings are always exemplary. you should hear and then advise me. And you do one thing. You are all expert in the science of archery, and you know the value of keeping one's plans undisclosed. Therefore, do not tell what is my plan to anybody else, because you are all experts. And then he also praised them. He said, your behavior is similar to that of great people. Like this, he started talking to all the people. Then thereafter, what happened? He talked about Krishna. He said, this boy who is the son of coward Nanda and who is famous in Braja, he is known as Krishna. He has transgressed all etiquettes and is steadily going to uproot me in no time. I cannot comprehend the position of that boy who was born in the house of Nanda. I do not know how to bring him under my control. I cannot conceive the strength of his transcendental body. He also knew then, he talked about Putana, which Putana was invincible, but easily he killed her. Then about Kalia also he told, about Dhenukasura, Kesi daemon, everything he told. Then he said, in my previous life, he was the cause of my death. That is, Krishna was the cause of my death. He knew this. And he said, in this life also, he always stands before me like death personified. And it is very strange how an insignificant coward boy who is always threatened with death because he possesses the human body can live in Braja and perform such wonderful activities. And like this, he said, the same supremely powerful Vishnu, he assumed the form of a half man, half lion, and had killed Hiranyakasipu. He is talking about Krishna. He knew about all this, and he also said, in the same way, long back, Vishnu took the form of Rudra and threw the demon Tripura. And Vishnu, with unlimited and eternal Almighty Vishnu, possessed thousands of heads, and he is indestructible. With her boar incarnation, what he did, with Mohini incarnation, what he did, with tortoise incarnation, what he did, with Vamana incarnation, what he did, with Dasaratha, son Rama, what he did, all these things he knew, and he told his assembly. Then he said, therefore, Krishna must be Vishnu or else Indra, the king of the demigods. He has come to Braja to kill me, and this is the information given by Narada to me. And in this regard, my suspicion turns toward Vasudeva. I think that we are being afflicted in this way because of Vasudeva's cleverness. And Devaki has been frustrated by Vasudeva in the dead of the night, and he has cheated me. Actually, the daughter of Yasoda and that Krishna who lives in Yasoda, actually the son of Vasudeva. Like this, he started saying. Then he had also said that Narada had previously told me about the son of Nanda, Krishna. He told me that whatever uncommon activities such as killing of Putana are being performed in Braja are being carried out by Krishna and the second son of Vasudeva. And being the son of Vasudeva, he is commonly known as Vasudeva. And he told me that the same Krishna would be the cause of my death, although he is actually my well-wisher, that is Narada. I know Krishna to be very eternal friend, but from within I feel that he is acting as my enemy. Therefore, he said, he told Akrura that you should always establish friendship while simultaneously keeping strict discipline. Then he asked everybody what should be done under these circumstances. He says, I'll take revenge against the two sons of Vasudeva, that is Krishna and Balrama. I have never been killed, I have never killed an old man, a Brahmana or a woman, nor will I do any such thing in future. I will never cause harm to any relatives or friends. Whether I am killed or achieve victory from today by by the immoral behavior of these two sons, the Yadu dynasty will be ashamed. Like this, he kept on talking to everybody. And then he what he did, Kamsa then he tried to take the advice of everybody, and even after hearing these harsh words from Kamsa, Vasudeva, who was powerful like the Vasuj, did not allow his heart to be agitated. And because Kamsa, he lacked the foresight and repeatedly struck Vasudeva with arrows of his harsh words. Still, Vasudeva was by nature forgiving and did not say anything in retaliation. And then magnanimous Akrura was very much pleased when told by Kamsa to go and get Krishna for the festival in Kamsa's place, that is in Mathura. He thought he will be able to have darsana of the lotus feet of the Krishna of Vrindavana. Therefore, he did not waste any time, but soon left Mathura to see his beloved Lord, that is Krishna. Then what happened, we will see in the next two lessons, coming weekend. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I have finished.
Very good, very good. Any further questions?
Thank you,
Brother
Prabhu.
Vinod
So it
Prabhu?
seems like Kansa knew everything, and despite of that, he he's like going against Krishna. He knew everything.
Look, Ravan knew anything, right? Everything. He was a great scholar of Vedas.
Interesting. But thank you, Prabhu. Wonderful insights. It's so nice.
Okay, so I guess we can conclude the class then. Archana Mataji, please take a rest,
Okay, Prabhu, thank you so much.
because we would like you to be back in sound health,
Yeah. I'm doing the
That's
recap
why-
next week, so
That's
I
the
will see
reason
you
I
next
did
week.
not. That's the very reason I did not. You're always on my mind, actually. I did not assign you any lectures because I knew you need rest.
No,
But
no,
in
only my
in
leg.
Dwarka,
I'm okay.
in Dwarka Lila, you're going to take a major role.
Okay, Prabhu. Sure.
Um,
I'll do the
it-
recap next week, so I'll
Yeah.
see you next week.
Okay. No, but you should take plenty of rest while you can.
Yes, that's important.
We need you very badly. At least I need you.
Yes.
Yeah. I depend on you.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank
For
you,
my
Prabhu.
sake. So for my sake, you take good rest.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Haribo.
Very well. Shall I do
Okay.
the kirtan?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralhadalhadadaine. Pralhadalhadadaine. हिरण्यकाशीपूर्वक्षः हिरण्यकाशीपूर्वक्षः शीलाटङ्कानखालये शीलाटङ्कानखालये इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा बाई नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा बाई नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा नरसिंहमदीं शरणं प्रपदे नरसिंहमदीं शरणं प्रपदे तव कर कमलवदेन कमद्भुतशृङ्गा दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय भक्तराज प्रहलाद महाराज की जय जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय थैंक यू वेरी मच हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम राम
Thank you very much, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, good Shri Prabhupada.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji. Thank you, Sanjay Prabhuji.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Chandravai.
Thank you,
Thank
Sanjeev.
you
all.
Very
Thank you,
nice class.
Chandrabaiji. Thank you, Sanjeev
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Thank you,
Thank
Mataji.
you, Sanjay Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Haribol.
Thank you, Sanjeev Prabhuji. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You are
Thank
now
you.
one of the experts now. I can count you. Count
All
on
your
you.
mercy, Prabhu. All your mercy.
I can continue to count on you. Okay now?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Haribol. And
Very well,
all
Prabhuji.
glories to Sharad Prabhuji. He is training all of you, you know.
Yes. He's so
He
nice.
has almost taken 50% of my work, you know. So I can focus completely on my PowerPoints, you know.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare
We are
Thank you,
fortunate to have
Sharad
you
Prabhuji.
both. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Sharad Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you,
Haribol.
Prabhuji.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Haribol.
So you have a wonderful week ahead.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.